All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Agent Experience, where we tell the stories behind the agents. I am Alan Lozano, your host with the Property Hermanos Group, and today we have a very special guest in studio. She is an EXP multiple-time icon agent, awesome agent, great person, known her for many years in the business. Her name is Nichole Eckmann. She is originally from Mission, Texas, right here in the Rio Grande Valley, but now working up in San Antonio and absolutely crushing it up there. So before real estate, she was the director of loan operations for a nonprofit, and she made the move into real estate, and now she's completely killing it in the real estate game. Been in real estate for 10 years, and hey, she tells me that her favorite food is Asian food. Man, I'm all about it. Thai food, Chinese food, Vietnamese, awesome. So we're gonna have to touch on that. She is a 3-time icon agent and a platinum top 50 finalist since 2021. And check this out, she's a very busy mom, working in real estate, a busy mom with 6 sons. 6 sons. So I thought it was hard for my folks with my brother and I with 2 sons. She has 6 sons and 3 of them in college. So it is my pleasure to bring to the show Nichole Eckmann. Here we go. How are you, Nichole?
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing very well. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be here. So, a busy mom of 6 sons. So tell us about it. How old are your sons? Where are they going to school? 3 of them in college. That must be exciting for you. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so my husband and I have a blended family of 6 sons. They range from the ages of 16 all the way to 23. So we have the 23-year-old is at St. Mary's University. He's working hopefully on just one more semester and he'll be graduating from college. We have one that's at Penn State. He's a junior this year at Penn State. And then we have one that just started at University of Texas in Austin. He's a freshman this year. There's also a set of twins that are 17 and they're going to Brandeis High School. And then we have my youngest is 16. He's also a junior in high school. So that's kind of the ranges and where they're at in their studies.
That is fantastic. So let me tell you, are they wanting to get into real estate? Are they wanting to get into the family business, or what? Are they kind of looking at different paths?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple of them that are maybe considering it. There's been some discussion about it. They obviously help me right now, just with some of like the day-to-day administrative tasks. So they get an idea of what the business is about. One thing they do tell me is they're like, "Mom, you're always on your phone and we feel like you're always working. So we don't know if we would do that." So that's kind of, they kind of can see that it's a nonstop type of thing, but I think they are asking questions. So who knows? I mean, they still don't know really the path they want to take, but hopefully at least one of them will take interest in real estate.
That's awesome. Well, like, real estate can be a 24/7 kind of a thing, right? So
yeah, exactly.
We never know when the phone's going to ring. We never know when that call is going to come in. And just like me, I'm sure you're the same way. We always put our clients first. So we have to be available.
Exactly. 100%.
So awesome. Well, thanks again for being here. So we have some questions ready for you. We want to dive in, see a little bit about your background, see about, your experience in the business. You're a very decorated, accomplished agent. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So with you being in the business for 10 years, which is amazing, what's one piece of advice that you wish you had received when you first started? And how would that new advice shape your approach to your career?
So I think when I first started, I actually started with Keller Williams Realty in the Rio Grande Valley, so KW in McAllen, Texas. And so I started with a high producing team at the time. And so, when I was interviewed and everything, it was kind of like the way they explained it to me, it's like, you just really need to get the client, take them to show them homes, get them under contract, and that's it. We have a TC, we're gonna do the rest. Like, it's just, and then you go to the next one and you just keep doing that, and I was like, okay, like, I think I can do that. And then when I started, I realized, man, that's not all it is. Like, once you, get the client to commit to working with you, then you get them under contract. you still have to get that, deal to closing. And I didn't realize at the time, obviously I had never had the experience of what that entailed, getting to closing. So it was a little disheartening. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I kind of felt like, man, like I thought this was going to be easy, but it turned out to be really complicated, and it was a lot of work, to get to the closing table. And so I felt like, I wasn't really prepared for that. So, obviously in this business, your headspace is really important. So, you have to really be in the right mindset to be successful. And so I was feeling a little bit discouraged because things were not working as quickly as I thought they were when I first started. So, that was a little bit hard. And so I feel like if someone would have prepared me for that up front, I would have probably had a different mindset going into it.
That's awesome. So new agents, if y'all are watching out there, take note. Just like Nichole said, there's a lot more to the story. There's a lot more than just showing houses and having fun with clients. There's a lot of hard work on the back end. But right, Nichole, I'm sure you can agree it's super rewarding what we do. We love helping our clients. And so new agents, take note. There's a lot more to it, but learn from seasoned agents like Nichole, learn from us, learn from top producers, and we'll help you all every step of the way. So I love that, Nichole. Thank you for sharing. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no problem.
So going back, talking about your experience with your clients. You're a very accomplished agent, tons of closings under your belt. Can you share a memorable success story where you helped a client achieve their dream? And how did that experience impact you personally and professionally?
So the one that really sticks out to me, actually, it was a closing that just happened, I want to say like 6-7 months ago. So my grandfather, who lived in Harlingen, Texas, that's where him and my grandmother built they had a home, they built their family there, and they stayed in this home for several years after their kids were grown and had their own families. And so my grandfather, thank God, lived to be almost 94 years old, which was a real blessing. And he didn't have a lot of health problems. It was just kind of, with age and everything, that's kind of the reason that he passed when he did. But one of the things he mentioned to me, well, first of all, he was really proud of the fact that I was a successful real estate agent. He used to tell all his friends about it, which was really sweet. And and one thing he wanted was, he told my mom and my aunt that he wanted me to sell his house when, he passed. And he said he wanted the people that were renting the small little apartment on the property for that family to have the opportunity to purchase the house, right? So I was kind of like, okay, like this is what he wanted, like we're going to make this happen. Well, so when I talked to the family that was renting on the property, so they tell me, well, we've already applied for a mortgage loan. We tried to buy a house last year and we just didn't qualify. So I said, okay, well, let's kind of go through the process. I know some people can talk to. So I got him in contact with another loan officer. He kind of ran the numbers, looked at everything. He's like, yeah, I can't make this happen. And so, typical Nichole, who basically I don't take no for an answer ever. So I was like, yeah, no. So we're somebody that's gonna do this loan. So I went ahead and I, kept talking to different lender partners that I have, and I found a lender. I told him the situation, and I was like, hey, let's think outside the box and try and make this happen, right? So to make a long story short, there was a lot of obstacles we had to overcome. I mean, it seemed like every other day there was something, right? But we were able to get him qualified. We were able to get through the appraisal, through everything like that. And it took, a little bit more than 30 days to close it, but we got it closed. And now that family is living in, my grandfather's house. And, it was just it was kind of bittersweet, I mean, I was happy for this family because they finally had an opportunity for home ownership. And, the husband got really emotional because he never thought that would be something that they could do. But I also was sad because, I grew up going to visit my grandparents and, and I had a lot of fond memories of walking down to the neighborhood, panaderia, right? And getting sweet bread and bringing it back and, having coffee with my grandma. And just a lot of memories started coming, back to me. And so I was a little sad to see the house go, but it also made me feel good that it went to a deserving family that, had the opportunity for home ownership.
That's awesome. And it really shows, those are really great signs of a great agent. You never stopped. You didn't take no for an answer. There's always a way, and you kept on your persistence and it paid off. And I'm sure that family is very grateful to you for the opportunity. So that's awesome. I love that story. Very cool. Thank you for sharing. Awesome. So cool. So talking about getting those folks into your grandfather's house and having them enjoy home ownership, right? We always preach the value of home ownership. What does it mean to you to be an owner of something? Whether you own your home, whether you own your brokerage like we do at EXP, which is amazing, you own your car, you're in charge of your schedule. What does it mean to you to be an owner of something?
So, I mean, I think that that's a key, right? To someone who wants to be an entrepreneur, you have to really see the value in being an owner, right, of your business, because no one's going to do the work for you. I mean, if you don't do it, it's not going to get done. So I think for me, just being an owner, of just my business, being an agent owner, under eXp Realty and having my LLC, Nichole Eckmann Property Group, it's been rewarding in the sense that I've seen, I've put the sweat and tears and everything into it, and I've seen it grow. And that's been huge because, I work for myself every day, right? Like, I mean, if I don't get up and answer the phone, if I don't answer my emails, like, I'm not going to get paid. So, I kind of feel that it's a lot of, I get motivated every day because every day is going to be different. And I feel, I did the corporate world and then I worked for a nonprofit after that. I did the 8 to 5. And that just wasn't for me. It works for some people. Some people need, that consistency and things like that. And I'm one of those that I kind of like to be out and doing different things. And I like, challenges every day. And, I like every day to be different. So I feel like being an owner of just my business, just allows me the flexibility to kind of handle things the way I want to handle them and put into it what I want to put into it so I can get out of it what I put into it. So, I'm able to control that. Whereas when you work for someone else, you kind of work for them. And so you do what they tell you to do and you don't have the flexibility to think outside the box and grow the business the way you want to.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're 100% right. And I can see you're sporting your EXP Icon Agent vest, right? Super awesome. And being an Icon agent, we're able to produce, sell homes, help people, and the company gives us more ownership of the company. So I love that. It's all about that flexibility, that freedom, being in charge of your own schedule. So I love all that. Great points. Okay, cool. So let's go back and let's talk about before you got into real estate 10 years ago. What inspired you to get into real estate and pursue a career? And what's the reason you ended up choosing to partner with EXP in your career?
So it kind of started when I had taken a break from work when I had my twin boys. And so I was staying home and for a little while. And I tried the working from home thing and it just really wasn't working. I was getting really bored. Like, I really need people. I mean, I'm a very social person. So I like to be around people. That kind of motivates me. And, it puts me in the right mental space and things like that. So I kind of knew that I wanted to be more in a career that allowed me to be around people and to get to know people. And so that was, when I stayed home with my boys, I went ahead and took I started doing the classes to get my real estate license. And so that's kind of when all that started. And I really just wanted the flexibility. And I say that very loosely because when I was thinking flexibility, I mean, I was like, I'll show a couple homes, and then I'll have the whole weekend off and, I'll just work a few hours a week, things like that. Well, it's not like that, right? I mean, we work all the time. And so that was a little bit like, whoa, I wanted the flexibility, but I don't really have it the way I thought I was going to have it. But I mean, still, I would never take it back. I mean, once you get used to setting your own schedule and kind of, the real estate career allows me to also focus on my kids and my family. So, if I don't want to show homes, one day and I want to schedule those home showings for a different day, I have the flexibility to do that, so I can be at an event for my kids or whatever. So yeah, I mean, that was the main reason. I just really wanted to be around people and have that social interaction and have, the flexibility in my schedule as well for my family.
That's awesome. And, I can attest to that. Even my brother, Daniel, he has his 2 little ones. And for him, his family and his little ones come first. So if they have a game, if they have a school function, so that flexibility really does. And, we'll get to the work eventually,
right.
Just like you said, it's going to be there. but just being able to have that flexibility really is awesome. So
Yeah,
very cool.
it's huge.
So yeah, so talking about your family, with your family, your children, how has real estate and EXP changed your life for you and your family?
Yeah, I mean, so one of the best decisions I've ever made in my career is, going with EXP and having them as my broker. I mean, honestly, like I first started out, like I said, with KW. Then I went to kind of like a boutique brokerage, and then I ended up at EXP. And it honestly has changed my life. I mean, I never imagined that I would, work for a brokerage that actually rewards their agents for their production and for their hard work. When I first started with the XP, I decided that every closing that I had, I was going to put 5% of my commission into stock, and just, it would be taken out at the closing and I wouldn't even feel it. Right. So I had been doing that for a long time. And I didn't even know, I hadn't even checked, my stock to see how much I had. I was getting stock rewards when I was reaching certain production levels and things like that, but I hadn't even paid attention to it. And then one day, my husband and I were talking about it. He's like, "Oh, have you even gone in there to see what you have?" And I was like, "No, I haven't." And when I, looked in my account, I had almost $200,000. $200,000. I mean, that's insane. And it was just like, from, stock rewards that I had gotten from, like, the amounts that I had been putting in over several years, into the stock. And, when we looked at this was before the stock split. So once it blew up, at that point we pulled it and we reinvested it into other real estate. So, it's been amazing. I mean, it's allowed us to really, do these things, that we wanted to do. And it's just been from like a company that rewards their agents for their hard work. So yeah, I mean, it's, I don't care what anybody says. I know we have some haters out there and things like that, but I'll tell you right now that this is for real. I mean, this company's amazing, and I'm never going to leave because, they're the OG of the virtual brokerage. So I know there's a lot of copycats out there, but nobody's going to do what EXP does. So
that's awesome. I love it.
I really feel blessed to be part of eXp Realty.
That's awesome. I feel the same way, and thank you for sharing that. It's what we tell people all the time. We're going to be selling real estate no matter where we are. Whether we're at one company or another company, it doesn't matter. We're going to be selling real estate at a high level. So if we're selling real estate, why not be building this along the way? Just like you said, you're putting that little bit every closing, and that's being invested in the company that we own together.
Exactly.
It couldn't be cooler than that, right? So
very
cool.
Amazing. Yeah. And the collaboration is amazing. Like, again, I've been at other places. The collaboration that we have here, it's like, second to none. It's really, really awesome. And, and I don't feel competition with other agents. All I feel is that collaboration, everybody willing to help. And and that's huge in this business.
Very cool. And Nichole, I ran into you at our conference out in Miami, a little over a month ago. And just the level of knowledge, the level of experience, the tips, the tricks, the golden nuggets, the advice, everything, top agents from all over the world pouring in back into the agents to help them in their business, in their mindset, in their overall well-being, in their overall health. It's a huge collaborative effort. So
huge.
I
and
love
the
it.
energy at that event was insane. It was amazing. Yeah, it was a really great event.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you so much. So let's kind of, we're talking about some big stuff, putting things away for your family and for your legacy and building your business, all that other kind of stuff. But let's kind of take a step back on a little bit of a lighter note. If you could have dinner with any person, living or not with us anymore, who would it be and why? And would you go get Thai food or Vietnamese food or what kind of? No. So tell us, who would you sit down and have a meal?
It would definitely be some sort of like Asian food. So speaking of food, so the person that I would, probably want to have dinner with, and I know this might be random, but I just think he seems to be like such a cool guy, is Bobby Flay. So I think that he's just, he's like a food scientist. I mean, I don't even know. Like, I mean, the way he kind of, creates these concoctions and, in the Beat Bobby Flay show, like he just like, will get this like, dish he has to make, and he just knows what to put in and how much and all of that. It's freaking amazing. Like, and, and I think that the reason I would love to talk to him is because I would love to know, like, because obviously when someone's successful at anything in life, it's because they have a passion for it. So I would love to talk to him about where, when did the passion for food and creating food start for him, and just to kind of get that information from him and just, kind of figure out how he got to the point of like building all he's built, because he has like an empire, I mean, between like the shows that he has and like the restaurants and all that. He just seems like a really interesting person. And so that is somebody I'd want to talk to.
That's awesome. Yeah, that would be a fantastic conversation. One entrepreneur to another, kind of learning his backstory. So I love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Well, cool. So Nichole, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be a guest here on the Agent Experience. Let everybody know, where can they find you online, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff. Let us know where we can find you.
So thank you so much, Alon, again, just for having me on. This was super fun. If you guys want to reach me, so I have Facebook and Instagram as Nichole Eckmann Realtor. We also have a NEPG EXP page on Instagram as well for Nichole Eckmann Property Group. I'm on LinkedIn. So I'm pretty much everywhere. And, if you guys just want to shoot me a message, if you have questions about EXP or just about the business in general, I would love to talk to you guys and share any information that I have that would hopefully help you in your career and kind of launching, your career in real estate.
Awesome. And I'll be sure to share all your information down below. So again, guys, thank y'all for tuning in to another great episode of the Agent Experience, where we tell the stories behind the agents. Thank you, Nichole. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Y'all take care.
Thanks, Alon. Bye.